What's going on, everyone? Peace and blessings. I am so excited to present to you guys episode 36 of Aspire to Inspire, where we interview industry professionals. Today, I am interviewing working actress Candice Renèe. Candice, she currently is a series regular on the BET Plus series, Bruh, where she plays the role of Regina. She can also be seen in current seasons of HBO's Westworld and Insecure, and so much more. And I am so excited to have her with me today. I'm going to bring her virtually onto our stage so you guys can see who she is and what she's about. Hi, Candice. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, of course. Thank you so much for joining me. As I stated before, this platform is geared for actors to just hear the real business of this entertainment industry, and just for you to come on here and to share your insight. I am forever grateful. And I mean, without further ado, we can just jump right into this. You ready?
Okay, let's go.
Awesome. So for the sake of our viewers, Candice, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and just let us know a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm an actress. I also do voiceover, acting. I do a little bit of writing, getting more into writing now, especially over the pandemic. All those creative juices start flowing. But I started acting when I was 12 years old. I grew up in Los Angeles, and so I had a lot of actors around me, like kid actors around me. And I used to watch SNL with my mom, and I would always say, I want to do that. They're so funny. They make people laugh. I want to do that. And so at 12, I had some friends who were in acting classes, and I was like, oh my God, like I have to go. What do I do? So I went to my mom, and she threw me in there like, all right, if that's what you want to do. And I never stopped. I never really stopped taking acting classes after that. I went to college and studied theater in New York, and lived in New York for almost 14 years doing theater, and then finally crossed over into television and film, and then moved back to LA a few years ago, and have just been kind of focusing on TV and film.
Yes. Oh, I love these type of stories. And this is why I love what I do with this platform, is that, a lot of things you just shared just now, just about yourself, you starting at a young age. And I think it's so crucial and important that you were kind of just like, hey, I want to do this, Mom, in any way, shape, or form. This is kind of what I want to do. I want to make people laugh. And I think anybody, we all want to make other people laugh. It's just human nature. But for you, in a sense, to just jump in full-heartedly knowing that, hey, this is something I want to do, and to still continue doing it, I think that just shows your amount of love for this acting business, the craft of an actor. And oh man, I truly, truly love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So it seems like you kind of got your start looking at SNL scripts and watching them perform and do their thing. Was there a moment in your life, so to say, that drew you to acting other than, what you stated before? Was there like a moment?
I think really that was the defining moment for me. I came from a medical family. Everybody in my family is either a doctor or in medicine some way. And so I always thought that I had to be a doctor. I even probably at the age of 11, I was in a medical program for kids on the weekend because I thought that that's what I wanted to do. And when I realized, this isn't for me, like the dissecting and the chemistry, and I don't know, maybe I'll be a lawyer, right? Because I like to talk. And I thought that was like the way to go. It's either that or that. And when I realized that probably wasn't it either, while I was watching Saturday Night, I used to do impersonations at school. I was a class clown. So I would impersonate people and do different accents and voices and characters, and didn't really realize like, oh yeah, I can do this for a living. You know what I mean? So when I was watching SNL, I was like, wait a minute, I could do this for a living? No, let me do this. I think I want to switch over. I didn't really make that concrete decision until after my mother did put me in acting school. And I realized that I was actually really, really good. And it wasn't just with comedy. You know, I was good. I was just good all around. I did well. I excelled in acting classes. Like, it was just my niche. And so that's when I realized, okay, yeah, this is really what I want to do.
Wow.
After I started taking classes. Yeah.
Yes, I love that you knew that this was your niche and you were good at it. Like, it's not something where you had to, you know, you can walk into places and feel as though you belong, or feel in the sense that this is something like you can pursue in life. I love those type of moments, because now you're doing what you love. You know, all those years where you're in New York and then you're in LA training for whether that's television, film versus theater, you always trained. And I think that is so important and crucial. And I think that's also one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about actors, is when it comes to our training. So I want to ask you, Candice, what do you believe is one of the greatest misconceptions people may have in regards to the job of an actor or an actress?
That it's easy. I think that's the number one on the list. People often, you know, look at TV or whatever, and they're like, that's, I mean, acting is easy. It's not something that's, you know, a career that's hard. Why do you have to train for that? You know, people they don't get it. They don't, they just look at TV and think they're just, you know, they're good at memorizing lines. Like, okay, you know, like, there are people on the outside of it tend to think that it's just a simple career, and if you look good, you can just get on camera and do it, and it's just not the case. They also say that, you know, being funny is easy. You know, oh, if I'm funny in real life, I can get on camera and do it. It's not the same. It's not the same, especially if it's not your writing that you're doing, right? Bringing someone else's words and script to life, it is challenging, you know, and that's why it's really important to me, in my opinion, that you train. And training doesn't necessarily just mean you're going to acting classes, but you're taking script analysis classes. How do I analyze a script that I get in my lap, whether it's a play or a film, right? Like, all of these things really make a difference with your work. And I think a major misconception is that all you're doing is getting a script to you, sent to you, and then you memorize it and do it.
Right. Sheesh. We already like 8 minutes in. You're speaking so much facts that a lot of people don't really realize. And I mean, it's okay. No harm to them. They don't really understand or know.
Right.
So what else can they do is assume? But for you to go even deeper with not just acting classes, totally understand that, but script analysis class. I know you said you're a writer, and I know right off the bat that that's going to benefit you in being a better actress, because you understand the writing essence of it. So I'm pretty sure there's been many scenarios in your life where you thank yourself for, hey, I'm so glad I got into writing, that I'm doing my own thing, because it's going to assist my acting at the end of the day. It will make my choices bigger and stronger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I just love that. I love that. So I'm going to move on from that in a sense and kind of dive into your source of inspiration. I believe, you know, we have many titans within the entertainment industry that we look up to in a sense. So I ask you, Candice, who are your biggest influencers that you look up to within the entertainment industry?
Well, I'll start with one of my first acting teachers when I was 13. Wendy Raquel Robinson. She was very inspirational in that she saw something in me at a very, very, very young age and pushed me, and, you know, put me in roles that were way bigger than my age, you know, pushed me to keep going and studying college. And she's still very inspirational to me now as a friend. And then as far as, you know, people that I just watched, Jeffrey Wright is my favorite actor. And because I see him as a character actor, and I see myself as a character actor. And he's just, I've seen him on stage, in plays. I've seen almost everything he's been in, and he's just so strong, but very, very humble, you know, off screen, and, you know, not really super Hollywood or anything like that. I really just like look at him, and we have the same birthday, but I look at him and I just am like, wow, like that's the lane that I want to be in as an actor.
Yeah, that's so, so well spoken. And for you to give credit to those who saw something in you from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You know, I think this industry can give you a really big head, in all honesty. It can
Sure.
make you prideful in a sense. But I think it's so crucial to give thanks and to remember those who cultivated you back then when you were just starting class at a young age. And for you, in a sense, you were explaining that, you know, she saw something within you and gave you roles that were way older than you actually were. That speaks a lot of volumes to where you are today. So I'm pretty sure you can surely testify towards that.
Absolutely.
Yes, so wonderful. So I'm so excited to ask these following questions because now we can talk about the work you've been a part of. You are a series regular actress, which is fantastic. You play Regina in the BET Plus series, Bruh. I gotta know, you know, as a working actress like yourself, what makes a role a good fit for you? What attracts you to a role, any type of role?
That's an interesting question because a lot of times when you get auditions, you don't really get to know who the character is unless you're provided with the entire script at once. So sometimes, you know, you think you know who the character is, and it might be an attractive role to you because she's relatable, or she's really quirky, or she's really funny. I really like multidimensional characters, right? I really love when, you know, I read a script that's written really well and she's funny. She has a funny side. She has a serious side. You know, she's multidimensional. Sometimes you don't get that when you get the sides for your auditions. You get one side of her. I recently read for a role and she was very serious. And so I sent the audition in, and the director talked to me about my audition and goes, she's actually the comic relief in the film. And I was like, what? You know, I was just like, well, that's amazing. But I didn't know that from the sides that I was given. So sometimes it's hard to choose or to feel connected to a character just within the audition. Now, afterwards, I think the connection can come with the depth of the character and the rest of the script and, you know, the things that she goes through throughout the script. In Bruh, I think that I like Regina because she actually is multidimensional. She has a very professional, like serious side. Then she can be really sexy and have a very sexual, flirty side. And then she can be, which I struggle with. And then she can be, you know, kind of funny. She's not the comedy on the show, but she has her moments, you know. And so I like that those moments are, that they exist.
Yeah, and that's so cool for you to be able to boldly say, and I love this about actors in general. Like, we can full on go into a role, right? And once we accept that role, there might be certain parts of us that we don't feel comfortable with, but we have to do it because that's required of the character. Yeah. And I mean, I think that just speaks so much testimony towards the job of an actor, the craft that goes into it, and the research that goes with it. And for you to say earlier about, you know, prior to, you know, we don't get to choose the roles we pick because, you know, auditions, you only get so much within the breakdown.
Yeah.
And we, in a sense, have to find that creative backbone of the character. So, Candice, I ask you, what is your process of, I guess, breaking down a character, understanding it? If you could speak a little bit towards that, that would be fantastic.
Yeah. So, of course, I start with the breakdown that's provided by the writer, and I take it from there. Sometimes, you know, you find more about the character within the script. So I just make sure that I read the script in its entirety and make notes about, you know, what I find out about the character, where she's originally from, or, you know, her parents, or, you know, things of that nature. And then if it's not there, I create it myself. sometimes I have to give myself a last name because she doesn't have one in the script. So I'll create the last name. I'll create where she's from. I'll create all of that if it's not there, because it helps me in becoming a full person and making that character into a full person. And it makes me feel like she's developed and can be developed even more as the story goes on. So if someone asks me on set, well, what's Regina's last name? She doesn't have a last name. I can easily say it's Williams, because I created that for myself. And they're like, oh, well, what, you know what I mean? But if you create those things for yourself, it helps you develop that person, that character into a real person. Otherwise, she's just, there for the script.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's given to you, and that's great. And it's easier for you, and you can just go based on that. But sometimes you can say, like, she broke her leg when she was 12 and she's never walked the same. And now she has a weird walk, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's really helpful for every aspect of the character, physically and emotionally.
Yeah, it is. It's beneficial in the end because, we as viewers, if we watch you on television screen, we want to see that dimensional character because they're real. That's how they portray in real life. And I loved that you spoke so much power over the research behind it and why you have to figure out, the backstory, the last name, the childhood, like all of those things are shown once you perform, whether that's on stage, whether that's on film, whether that's on television. So, Oh my goodness, Candice, thank you so much for speaking your truth about that, because that stuff deserves to be heard. It truly does. It truly does.
It's helpful.
Right. It is helpful. It is helpful. And okay, let's just transition from, I guess, in a sense, the work of an actor to you being on set and the work that you've done. And I gotta say, I know for you, it had to be amazing to work on set of Bruh and just be able to soak in all of that creativity, work alongside actors and actresses like yourself, in a sense, with all that you have accomplished and all that you have achieved within the entertainment industry and with film and television. How has that inspired you to just push harder to where you want to go in the future?
I think that with every piece of success, I feel like it's pushing me further to, where I really want to be. I think that the most important thing is to stay grateful and have just an immense amount of gratitude for every single part of my career, because, every single thing makes it better, right? Every step up makes it better, and not to keep looking back. I mean, a lot of us, and it's not just within our field, but a lot of us look back or look around at other people and look at their success and think, well, that's where I really want to be, or that's what I really want to do, and how come I'm not there yet? And I think that staying grounded and knowing that your journey is your journey is helpful in keeping a sound mind and keeping yourself level-headed to get to where you really, really, really want to get to. I'm not sure if that answered the question, but that's kind of how my mindset that I have to keep in order to feel like, I have space to grow still, and I have more, things to accomplish still.
Yes, you answered that question and more, honestly. And that's just the beauty of this whole craft of one, you cannot compare yourself to other people. And I loved how you say that just includes with life as well. With social media and everything, we're constantly competing against one another, and it can be very, very toxic. And I think that's why it's very important, like you stated before, to train hard and to go into your craft full-heartedly, and also surround yourself with people who are, in the same lane as you, or even above the lane that you're in. So you can constantly be surrounded by people. If you want to speak a little bit towards that, please feel free.
Well, yeah, I do think it's important to, surround yourself with like-minded people and like-minded individuals in general. I think it's really, for me, that's really been an encouraging thing, having friendships that, we're both on the same train, just getting off at different stops, but on the same train, headed towards the same destination. It's really helpful, encouraging, and, you get down on yourself and that person is there, and vice versa. And then also, like you said, people who are already up there. I think that's very important to have, because they inspire you. You have something to look forward to, and you're like, wow, like, okay, and you get encouragement from them, and even mentored people who are actually trying to get to your level. That has, been helpful for me too, because I feel like I can give something and help and give, words of encouragement and pull them up,
Yeah.
So that whole gamut of different levels is helpful in general. And I think that it's important to have all those levels around you, because, just having people who are above you it may not always help. It may not always feel like you're that you have somebody like you. You know what I mean? It helps to have all levels.
Yes.
Around you. It's really important.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much for speaking towards that. Just build a community is what we're saying. Build a community and grow from that.
Very important.
It is. It is. So these next following questions, I like to call them just dream big questions. I don't think, we as people, in a sense, really just sit back and allow our creativity to just soar and reimagine where we can be or how our future self would be. And I'm just going to ask you blatantly straight out, within the entertainment industry, Candice, where do you envision yourself? Where do you desire to be 5 to 10 years down the line?
I envision myself doing way more film. I think, over the next, couple of years, I really want to sit in television for a bit. And then I want to do more, feature films, bigger films and action and things like that. And then after that, I want to go back to theater. I want to go to Broadway and just do some really good plays and just get back on stage. It's like my favorite thing. And I think that, after doing a whole lot of TV and film, a lot of people, they'll go back to the stage for a bit and do a show or two. I really want to do that because it's just so fulfilling for me. And it feels really good just to be in the theater. So I really do see myself going and hopping back on stage in the next 5-6 years.
Yeah. I mean, I strongly believe that there's a different type of energy or how you feel when you're on stage. It's a totally different experience than film and television. So I don't know. I just wanted to ask you this. Do you have a preference between the two? Because it sounds like you do, between theater and film and television. It sounds like you already have a favorite, but if I were to ask you.
I don't think that I want to say I have a favorite, but I do I enjoy both. Like, I enjoy being on set and all of that. But the feeling of being on stage is completely different. And because that's where I started and trained for so long, I think that I just have a different kind of love. It's like when you have two children and you really love that kid for this and then you really love that kid for that, but you can't say you have a favorite because that's not fair.
Right. That was a great analogy. That was a really good way to describe it. Because I came from the same background of theater, and that love that I had for it at such a young age is way different for the love that I have for film and television, but it's still there, It's definitely still there. So I don't know. I just wanted to ask you, but that was a really straightforward, honest answer.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we're winding down our interview. Thank you so much for your time. I'm just gonna keep saying thank you and that I admire your work. I admire everything that you're saying. But man, I'm so overwhelmed with joy right now, because it's one thing to hear from someone who wants to pursue this, and there's another hearing from someone who's actually doing it and hearing from them and their advice. So, just with everything that's going on in the world, and there's just so much negativity, and we constantly need to remain positive no matter where we are, whatever state of mind we're in. With the platform that you have, Candice, how do you desire to use your platform to inspire other people?
You know what? I think I've this is something I'm still working on. I've never been really good at sharing what I am working on or have done. Like I really have to be pushed to do that because growing up, as an actress, I've been acting for over 20 years. So growing up with that and that around me, that wasn't really something that I was used to. Social media has really changed that.
Yeah.
And so everybody sometimes is contractually obligated to tell you, hey, I have this coming out, or I'm on this, or, I was never good at that. Even when I got on Instagram years ago, I was like, wait, why do I have to tell people? I have friends and organizations I'm in where they're like, why didn't you tell us you're in this? That's something that I have never been good at. And so that also can be something that inspires others. So I was like, you know what, I'll do better with that. I will share what I'm working on. I will share what I'm doing. It's inspiration for other people who are trying, right? So doing better with that. And then also I just love to make people laugh. So that to me is inspiring in and of itself. If I can just make people laugh and say, hey, you can make people laugh too, do this, or come do it with me, or you let's do this together, or whatever, I'll do it. And I think that all of those things, when you watch other people and you can get inspired just by watching them. And then I also try every now and then to like send out little inspirational messages because I know that, I'm human and I have hard times. And I know that, sometimes it may not feel great, when I'm not booking or whatever. So I'll try to give inspiration and say, hey, I already know how it feels, but, it just got to keep going. And it's worth it.
Wow. It's one thing to say that you're good at something. It's another thing that you want to improve and that you want to use your platform for good, whether it's, you may not do it a lot. Hey, the fact that you're trying to do it, I think that counts more than not even trying at all. So, I mean, you saying that I want to reach out to people and inspire them. I know you certainly did for people who will be watching this interview. Wow. Thank you so much for sharing so much of your insight. I really enjoyed talking with you. I hope you had a great time.
I did. Thank you.
Oh, of course, anytime. But yes, thank you so much. And for our viewers who are watching, thanks so much for tuning in to episode 36. As you guys all know, more industry professionals will be coming very, very soon. And until then, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Thank you.